Okay,
and make it
cool.
soon.
Right. So, guys, we're moving in. Now, this is going to be quite an in-depth pre-session questionnaire. It's something that you can expect from any, I would say, coaching session in terms of preparation. This is to really start defining how Maria, um, what preferences Maria has, how she sees herself currently, and then also to give some inspiration to take and implement certain things into our job search. So please follow us. Uh, Ask any questions on the way or make any suggestions too. I'm monitoring also the chat, the comments. So uh, let's crack on. Are you ready, Maria?
Yes.
And listen, if you're not sure about any of the questions, take your time. I can rephrase them. I can ask you a follow-up question or kind of approach it in a different way. It's absolutely fine.
Okay.
So the first area that we're going to focus on are your career objectives. And at the moment, it's pretty clear in what sort of industry and where you want to go. But what would you say are your short-term career goals?
Well, I would like to land my first Salesforce job. And that's my short-term goal. See, the problem with that question is that uh, before you start like really working in Salesforce, you don't actually know what role will be for you appropriate, right? Before you start working on projects and that sort of things. That's not easy to say whether you want to be a consultant or business analyst or maybe admin or maybe someone else, because that's just, huge opportunities. Yeah, but
Yeah,
but for the time, if I would have to decide now, I would rather say that rather some sort of business analyst. I would see myself as a business analyst.
okay. And we'll definitely dive deeper in this area at our next session. That's the plan,
Okay.
and we'll tell you more about it later. But here is, of course, so I know that you've been trying to figure out what kind of role would be good for you. A junior Salesforce consultant, which are hardly available, any vacancies like that, especially in Poland. I don't know what it looks like in other parts of the world, but here in Poland, it's very scarce. Then a business analyst, well, that's also fairly limited. And if they do pop up, they tend to require quite specific experience
Yeah.
with an ecosystem, right? Or with specific solutions and products. Um, and then we have, a whole plethora of different roles. And the admin role, my goodness, that's a role that's really changing constantly. I was just reading about the role of an adminoloper. So, yeah, so these, I mean, it all really depends, and you're absolutely spot on here that, it's hard to make a decision when you've never worked with Salesforce
Exactly.
commercially yet, right?
Exactly.
And then you
I
have the
know,
whole, yeah,
I know what I cannot do. I cannot be a sales representative. That's not a job for me. Definitely.
okay, well, you
So
made that
that I
clear. Well,
know.
that helps, right? That helps. But that's also some opportunities out there, and actually, there's plenty of opportunities in sales for obvious reasons, right?
Yeah, but
But cool. Well, you've made that clear. At this stage because you've got quite a strong sales background yourself, right? You've done it
yeah, but
before, so
yes, I've done it before, but I still I kind of tend to have the problem that I would give everything for free, and that's not the way you earn the money, right?
yeah. So if anyone's watching this who's hiring for salespeople, please do not contact Maria. You don't want to do that.
No,
uh,
no, definitely
right,
not.
right.
Sorry.
Okay. So what about long-term career goals? So let's imagine you've put your foot through the door. You're working within an organization, whatever, if that's an admin, business analyst, consultant position. What would you see? Are you already visioning yourself of how you want to develop um, and grow your career? or is that still something too abstract for you to even think about right now?
Well, the thing is that uh, I don't really know at the moment. Definitely, I would like to stay within the Salesforce ecosystem, but the role that I would have within 5 years, I have no idea because the that could change uh, when I start working. Because I'm the type of person that really likes to learn new things. So if I start, I don't know, if I start working on a project and then I see that Apex is really cool and I would like to know more about it, then I will start learn it. So that's the thing that I don't know. But definitely the my idea is to, if I learn something, I would like to share my knowledge with other people. So I hope to be kind of helpful for others as well.
It's good you're mentioning that because that's a very important aspect of really being part of this community. Uh, and I am absolutely convinced that you're going to feel this throughout this session. A lot of support from
Hopefully.
people who've been in the ecosystem, have a lot of experience. I bet you. I will eat my shoes live on LinkedIn if that doesn't happen. uh, but
Let's wait
so
for it.
so giving back is something, of course, that's good. You're very empathetic. I know, you're a very kind and always helpful person. I know that. I've seen that. But I mean, at the moment, you're the one needing
Who needs help?
needs help, right? So, of course, there's a lot of things you can do whilst you're on your job search, looking. So, and of course, doing some voluntary help, but at the same time, evidencing your skills and getting something out of it. So whether that's recommendations for LinkedIn to really build up your profile, or getting introductions to companies where maybe they're not looking to hire yet, but they have some ideas. I know a couple of companies in Poland who haven't announced any vacancies, but I know that they are intending to start some boot camps soon, start hiring juniors because I have a focus on growing, new talent within the organization. So it's just a matter of time or opening those doors or getting in early. Right, I've noticed an interesting question here from Divya, so I'm going to share it with all of you. So are there job opportunities which need BA profile, so a business analyst profile from the start? Or do most of these entry-level jobs begin with being an admin first? Well, an admin and a BA can be two totally different roles when you think of it, because we are also in a very diverse environment. So we have clients who usually have their, let's say, standard admins, right, supporting their instances internally with various skills and various sometimes very technical skills as well. They may be responsible for understanding the business requirements, interpreting them, defining them, maybe even preparing user stories, and they may have an internal team that will help them develop and implement those solutions. Then you have the consulting business, right? So who do all of that, but it all depends on what capacity and what skills are available on the client side. Then you have ISVs. So I mean, it's quite a complex environment. So Divya, I really welcome you to join us on our next session because we're going to be diving deep in the whole ecosystem. What kind of roles are out there? How do we define them? What's maybe potentially coming? Of course, with the whole hype around AI and all the focus around these solutions, it's going to be an interesting time for Salesforce as well. So please do follow us and join us in the next session where we really explore the different types of roles and profiles.
Yeah,
Maria,
and
maybe you have a suggestion here.
since they canceled the prerequisite for business analyst, you can pass the certificate without having admin certificate right now. So they kind of go into I don't know, maybe business analyst should be totally different role, not having the admin, right?
Yeah, well, that changed last year, exactly, where no longer do you need to have the admin to take the BA certificate. which you're absolutely right. Could reflect the fact that these roles are becoming slightly more complex and requiring maybe a different focus. And I think the role of a consultant, in every company is going to be different, right? I used to always call consultants, Salesforce hybrids, because they do a bit of business analysis when needed. They will configure, so they're really developing their experience in key technical aspects of configuring a platform. They resolve issues, they can fix bugs, uh, and they also very often, the more experienced one, get involved in pre-sales activities if it's on the Salesforce consulting side, or they are managing a vendor that's delivering, let's say, a service for them, or they steer into a more managerial role, looking after an entire team. So yeah, it's very, very interesting and very diverse, ecosystem. So that's a big plus. But one thing that's for sure is it's becoming a lot more complex and sophisticated. And the need for specific knowledge around specific products, such as, I don't know, CPQ, RevOps, uh, integration, MuleSoft, this is really becoming, a very complex now and diverse um, portfolio of solutions. Okay, right. What motivated you to get involved in this experiment with me, Maria? Why did you write that message?
Well, kind of. You motivated me. No, just that, I've been trying to find a job for almost a year now. And obviously, I'm doing something wrong since I'm still unemployed. Or maybe I'm just, I'm just unemployable. I don't know how to say it.
Unemployable. Uh,
Unemployable. Yeah, but obviously I'm doing something wrong. So I figured out that this type of initiative, especially that's run by you, will be a great opportunity for me to unveil what I'm doing wrong. See, and maybe we can also help other guys to secure their jobs or to change the way they are looking for jobs or to just to find the problem.
Also,
That's the
I'm
motivation.
pleased to hear that. And I wouldn't say necessarily you're doing anything wrong, but I mean, let's find out, right? Let's see if you could do things better or differently.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to have a different perspective on things. And I think having a perspective of a recruiter can be beneficial in many
Yeah,
ways,
it is,
right?
definitely.
uh, so cool. Thanks for sharing that with me. And listen, there could be a case where through this experience, you might decide that Salesforce is not for you.
I
That can
know.
be also an option, but whatever it will be,
I
uh,
will go for recruiting.
oh gosh, you messed up my idea that I had, yet for the next session. But that's also an alternative. That's also an option. But there's plenty of opportunities for, ambassadors, educators. There's loads of different roles, but we're going to explore that at our next session.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about your career history and skills. And yes, you have a very diverse background, but
Oh,
let's
yes.
take a trip down memory lane, Maria, and if you could share with us a brief overview of your career history. Maybe if you start in not in yeah in chronological order, let's say starting from I guess studies, right? Because you
Studies.
graduated with a master's degree
Yes. Economics.
in
In econ.
economics. Okay, in
Yes, and
economy.
I did two majors at the same time because I started with tourism marketing, and then at the same time I figured out that there is a new major, e-commerce, but that was 20 years ago, so internet was, just not in
So,
the shape as it is now. But we did all the things related to how to put the company into internet and how to automate some things. But yet at that time we still had the phones that were not the phones that we have now. So you could only send short messages, 160, I don't know what points or whatever. Yeah, but I graduated e-commerce, but then I didn't kind of go on that way because I started working with my friend and trying to help him run his business. And we started with events for companies, like incentive events and kind of things related to that. And then we ended on delivering products, special products for military and police. And I was responsible for all the documentation. We needed to implement ISO and AQAP, which was needed. Those are
Yeah,
quality management
that's quite a
systems.
process, right?
Yeah,
ISO is
yeah,
very, very formal and requires a lot
a
of
lot.
preparation, right?
Yeah, so I did all of
Okay.
that, and then I did all internal audits and was responsible for those management systems. And later on, I moved to I was working on a contract with one of our suppliers from UK, and I spent some time in Cardiff, but that
Oh,
lasted a
Wales.
year. Yes, Wales. But before that, I also spent half of the year in Scotland. Uh, because I was working at the hotel as a receptionist and group reservation someone. And when people were calling from Glasgow, that was a nightmare. Really, seriously, I don't understand them at all. Can you spell your name? No, not for me totally. Yeah, but I've been working as a salesperson. Basically, I was responsible for growing the market, the sales market, and that didn't work well, I must admit. I'm not proud of me, but sales is not for me, as we know. And then I had a short break in my career because I had a baby, so I needed to raise a little child.
Is that when you
Uh,
came back to Poland? Did
yeah,
you come
yeah,
back?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I
Okay.
came back to Poland and had my baby, and then I started working as an event manager, and I was responsible for like huge events. We were working for Bayer, for Pharma, for all the big pharmacy companies, and doing
Wow.
events. Yeah, like we did also the event for Bayer had 150 years or 100 years. I don't remember right now, but there was a
Like an
huge
anniversary, a
celebration.
big anniversary and a big
Yeah,
celebration. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was a
Wow,
huge
okay.
event.
So you were responsible for planning and organizing these events
Yeah,
like entirely, or were you part
yes.
of a specific, let's say, team?
Well, I was leading this team.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What a interesting experience.
Yes, we even had an ice rink in the middle of summer. You
Wow.
can do it.
Nice.
Yeah,
Everything's possible, right? With the right
everything is
budget.
possible. Yeah, with the right budget. And then they had also some charity events for the I don't know how to say it in English, but there is a school for blind people, blind children. So they did some voluntary work for them, and also there is another school in Wejherowo for children that cannot hear. So we did some voluntary work there as well. So that was really interesting. And then I figured out that I want to know more about marketing. So I started working on the in the advertising agency, and our clients were Volvo trucks and EcoCar and Henkel. So we did all the things for them.
What kind
Uh,
of things? If you could be a little
what
bit
kind
more
of
specific,
things?
or yeah, give
All
a.
kind of things.
But what are these
No,
digital campaigns or
there were digital
physical?
campaigns and physical campaigns. Also, the branding of the like for eco cars, where you have the cabs in Poland, taxis.
Hmm.
We did all the branding on cars, and there was also huge branding on the Central Railway in
Hmm.
Warsaw. Some other things. Oh, did you know that you cannot use the image of the hotel that is in Abu Dhabi? You cannot use the image of it because there is some sort of rights that it cannot be on the photo. Yeah,
Well,
some
you know,
strange
it's
things.
it's a
Yeah.
very recognizable building, so yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen it. I haven't been in it. I couldn't afford to stay in it either.
No. Oh, what a shame. Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool. So in marketing, so this seems like more graphic design
yeah,
and yes, and so it's not the, let's say, digital marketing where you are setting up campaigns, having a budget with a requirement to generate leads, something like
no, no,
what
more like a
marketing
graphic
cloud
design. No, no,
automation
no,
also
no,
that,
no,
okay.
no,
Okay,
no,
cool.
more like a graphic design.
So
And
more
then
the creative side, yes, and
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So then I figured out that I really need to learn how to print things, how to prepare them for printing out, and how to do them. So I started working in a printing house, and I was working there as a key account manager. So I was basically responsible
Key
for
accounts.
key accounts. Yes. Yeah, but see, like for example, I don't know when you do exhibitions in museum and you need to have certain printouts and certain, I don't know, titles below the paintings, or some sort of pathway needs to be just printed out. I wanted to know on which material you need to print it and how you need to prepare it so it will not wash off after, I don't know, some time, or the letters don't disappear.
Hmm.
So that was quite interesting experience. But after a year, I knew almost everything. So so I decided to move on, and I started working in a company and doing some museum exhibitions. So we did
Okay.
two museum exhibitions in Warsaw. In the Palace of Culture, there is a National Museum of Technology. So we did two big exhibitions there, and we did it in 3 months, from zero to hero. We didn't even have the project, so we needed to agree everything, and then just prepare the exhibitions and finish them within 3 months.
Pretty tight
Uh,
deadline then.
yeah, it was, and it was really hectic because it was the end of the year. So if we wanted to order some equipment like I don't know, TVs or computers or stuff like that, there were none on stock. So that was really, really, really tough, but we did it. I had a great team. And then I figured out that uh, I need to change my career because my son is old enough that he can take care of him by his own. And my colleague told me, "Hey, have you ever heard of Salesforce?" No. So just check it out. So I checked it out and I started doing trial trial heads.
Trailheads.
Yes, trial heads, and I couldn't stop, and that's how it started.
Awesome. So who's the friend? Who got you introduced to Salesforce? It's worth a shout out to him, right?
See, that's Kuba Jakobsen. He works at Deloitte, and he's a developer at the moment.
Hello, Kuba. Greetings to you and the entire team at Deloitte. Great stuff. And thanks for inspiring another trailblazer. I always wondered, is it Deloitte? Is it Deloitte? Is it
I have no
Delay?
idea. Maybe
We
someone
got to invite
knows.
someone. We need
Yeah.
to invite someone. Uh,
So
right.
that's yeah.
And that's, the man behind getting you into Salesforce then. We know the hero behind the story then.
Yeehaw!
So, Jakub, if your ears are itching, you know why. Uh, right. Okay. So, and that was last year. No, the year before, right? 2022 is when you.
2022 September.
Okay. Cool. And you're not working since.
No, I'm enjoying my life.
That sounds fun. Of course,
No,
you're a
but
full-time mum as well, right? So
yeah,
that's a
and
job in itself.
yeah, but it's not really comfortable for me not working because I need to do something that is, that has some meaning. That I know that I'm doing something for a reason, not just doing for doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that. There's a lot of transferable skills and experience you have, and I'm just thinking it's quite a couple of, a few interesting industries that, are also revolutionizing, using technology. Something worth maybe exploring uh, later in one of our
Maybe.
sessions, right? But I think the fact that you have significant experience in marketing, event management, working with big, well-recognized brands says a lot. And, don't forget about that. And even the experience you mentioned, the recent one where organizing two exhibitions at very short notice, I'm pretty sure with a very specified tight budget and, with probably quite hefty requirements if it was in the National Museum of Technology, then it also says a lot about you and how adaptable you are and how creative you can be. Of course, that's no question about that. So these are all skills that are transferable and really add a lot of value, especially nowadays in the Salesforce ecosystem. You need to be like a chameleon, being able to adapt to whether that's clients' needs, unlearning and learning a totally different new solution or feature. You know, every 3 times a year there's a whole update and new releases of new features and upgrades. So it is an environment for you. It seems like you are one who likes a challenge and who likes change and adapts to
Yes.
change. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about digital transformation, which is one of the biggest changes in our history in modern lay. So great. And of course, we can dig deeper into this. Uh, so, in your own like being now self-aware of yourself and your skills, what would you say are your key skills and strengths? So if you're asked this in an interview, or
Well, adaptability.
okay,
That's for first, definitely. Uh, I adapt really quickly. Another skill. I'm pretty fluent in Salesforce, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, and Experience Cloud.
okay. So the core
Um,
clouds, great.
Core clouds, yes. What else? I love challenges, and I love to solve problems because I don't see them as problems, but rather as challenges, and that drives me for further development and further digging down the core thing of the problem. What else? What else can I say? Hmm. I'm positive. Definitely, I'm
So an
positive,
optimist.
and
You're an
yes,
optimist. I
I'm.
like to look at things positively.
Yeah, I even did the Gallup test of strength and something,
Yeah,
and
very good.
the lady that was doing this test with me, she was talking about this test later. She was just like, "That's unbelievable that you have positivity in your top five because that's so uncommon in Poland." And I was like, maybe I'm just in the wrong country. No,
Yeah, I
no,
mean
no, but
it's a great it's great of course feature and helps in team environments as well. But I mean, great. These are interesting skills and traits, and some of these aspects, are quite hard to define, let's say, throughout a recruitment or interview process. But we'll be talking about skills and how to sell yourself in an interview, let's say, when asked such questions in such way. But
Yeah.
one thing you mentioned really nicely and quite confidently was your knowledge and confidence in the core clouds and Experience Cloud, which is very relevant. Okay, so are there any skills or areas you want to develop and you want to improve that are going to for sure help you with your career?
For sure, I want to learn more about other clouds
Any
because
specifics? Any specific ones that are of interest?
how about data cloud?
So the ex-Genie data cloud. Well, yeah, of course. This is a hot topic right now, right?
Exactly. That's why I need to learn it. If everybody's talking about it, I need to learn it.
Okay.
Uh, I'm not pretty
Anything
sure
else?
about touching marketing cloud, but maybe. But it's not on my top list
Okay.
for now. Uh, I would like to know more about basically project management because since I've been doing some project management, but it was not in the IT, so I don't know a lot about Agile, Scrum, and this type of things. So I would like to be more familiar with that. I did some course
Well,
on Udemy, but it's not, sufficient.
well, yeah, that's a very, very important area. Mm, let's say definitely worth exploring, maybe worth inviting someone with such experience in the Salesforce ecosystem, working in Agile. But I think there's also a methodology which we can explore, which Salesforce has also created. But I mean, very important to be aware because depending on where you would work, whether that's consulting or client side, there'll be a different methodology, a different approach, right, to getting things done. But I think Agile is a very common and well respected methodology. But waterfall has its benefits as well,
Yeah,
or a bit of a
true.
hybrid of both. But yeah, that'd be great to maybe invite someone who could share their expertise and understanding the adaptive, let's say, approach to methodology when delivering. Okay, cool. Let's move on. So we're going to talk about challenges and obstacles. So I'm going to highlight all the two questions here. So first is, what challenges are you currently facing in securing your first Salesforce job? Well, that's the question and answer in one, for obvious reasons. So it is a challenge just finding a job. So, but what are the main issues in your understanding right now and from your experience? Because you, as you mentioned, you have been on the market looking, you've had interviews, right? You've been
Yes,
applying and you've had a
yes.
mixed experience. So what can you share with us in terms of your current challenge that you've been facing?
Well, basically, I'm doing something wrong on interviews.
Hmm. Okay. Why, why,
Uh,
why, why do you think so? Have you received feedback, any constructive feedback following interviews, or are you just assuming that you've done something wrong?
I'm assuming. Well, from one interview, I received a feedback that I was too joyful.
Okay. Well,
So
think about it this way.
basically, I
Quite
should not
sounds like
smile.
a bit sounds like a miserable company to work at. Okay, but I mean, I guess, we went there and maybe nerves when they kick in, you can behave maybe a little unnaturally, or
That's true.
I know
Just
that
like
and I
right
get
now.
the giggles. Okay, but we will definitely have mock interviews here. We'll be doing them. Uh, I'll be doing them with you, but we'll also be inviting some experienced consultants, or depending on the roles we're going to be focusing on, might invite them to come in and share their perspective and maybe share some feedback with you directly. But
Yeah, that
feedback
would be
is
cool.
essential. And what are you finding it hard to get feedback following
No,
interviews?
no,
Or
no. I got another one that actually I was applying for product owner, junior product owner, and my knowledge about the product owner role was just too little. I had no idea. Well, I had some idea, but that was not sufficient.
Mhm.
and there were better people out there. Then I had a feedback that I applied for internship, but then I had a feedback that I know too much for the internship.
Overqualified, perhaps, for
Yes,
the internship. Yeah.
I'm overqualified, so I would be bored and I don't know what else. And yeah, basically those are the feedbacks.
Okay.
And I got another one that everything is cool, but they needed to just postpone the recruitation,
Okay. The recruitment. Yep.
the recruitment.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So okay. And that's it. Yes. So four, let's say, experiences where you had
Yes,
feedback.
and yes, and I had some no feedbacks, and I had some, uh, yeah, basically that's it.
Okay. Cool. So this is a very important area you've mentioned. So the interview process and getting to see and share some real constructive feedback through a mock interview with you. And I'm more than happy to conduct, let's say, an initial interview with you. I won't be able to dive into deep technical or knowledge of functional aspects of Salesforce, but I have people that I can engage and help me in that. So we'll definitely practice that and see how you do. But it's a very crucial element of the success of your job application is to come across confident, knowledgeable, or willing to learn. And in areas where you don't have the answers, to be able to address that properly in an interview as well. But that's cool. Well, sorry for those experiences, but
Yeah,
unfortunately, you're not the
that's
only
the
one.
life.
It's quite a common feedback that I hear from people in similar situations as you are. And I truly do hope that the market improves and that if when we're going to be applying for positions, that the employers are watching out. So they do get back to you with feedback, right? Uh, okay, so any obstacles that might hinder your career progress? Is there anything you know apart from, let's say, the uh, interview that you feel you could do a lot better in interviews? Are there any other obstacles that are stopping you from getting these jobs?
Well, there are no jobs.
Yeah, and that's one thing. That's one thing.
That's number
Yeah,
one.
a lot of us know about. And yeah, here's one from. Yeah, and I relate to that a lot. I can see, and I'm monitoring the ecosystem quite carefully, tracking, the number of positions and what types of positions, and there's quite a lot of shift and changes. And when it comes to entry level, junior roles, very, very limited. And if they do appear, they're quite complex already,
Yeah.
requiring quite a lot of technical acumen already. Um, so yeah, and here's a good friend of mine, Yalin. Greetings, Yalin, in Prague. Yeah, he can relate to you here, Maria. So I know Yalin also over a year, and he's also very determined and not giving up. And keep going, Yalin. I totally believe in you, my friend. Okay, so lack of opportunities, some work to do around your interview skills so that you can smash those interviews. And anything else?
Well, I don't know if I know enough. See, the problem is all the time. The problem is if whether my knowledge is okay for entry level position, and if not, in what areas I should uh, improve my knowledge. Like I know that in the ways of project management and all the methodology of running the projects, I know basically a little, so I know that part. But maybe I should be. I don't know. I don't know what I should be.
Well, that's what we're going to do in this series, and we're going to answer some of these questions. And you're not alone. We're going to find out from people who are in these roles, in these positions, even people who are creating these opportunities. Okay, so we're really going to dive deep. Uh, hopefully it won't last too long where we start interviewing every single person in the community, but if it comes to that, we'll just have to go with it. But one thing we're going to do here together with all of you following us is we're going to really explore different angles to help Maria land a job. And anyone out there looking for work in a similar position as Maria, we're with you. We relate to you guys, and we fully believe that, we can approach it differently and address the current market, the challenge. But of course, we all need to secure a purpose, earn money, survive, further develop ourselves. And that's what we're all looking for. And I totally understand this. Uh, okay. Expectations from these sessions. And again, I'll wrap this up quickly. So what are your expectations from these career coaching sessions, Maria? And are there any specific areas or issues you would like to focus on during the session? So we know about the mock interviews, right? That you would love to focus here. What other areas you might be potentially doing wrong when presenting yourself, etc. And there's a lot of stuff we can work around here, so I'm excited, and I can really share a lot of my experience too. But I'll be also really happy to invite guests to support and share their perspectives as well. What are your expectations from this coaching session, Maria? What do you really expect from this session with me?
Well, I would like to learn more about the recruitment process and see what I'm doing wrong, as I mentioned before. And I hope it will be also valuable for others, not only for me, right? So that's the whole purpose of it.
Okay,
Well, and
but
and I want to land my first job.
of course that we're all clear on. That's defined.
See, because
So
as you mentioned, the perspective of other person is extremely valuable because the way we see ourselves can be totally wrong,
yeah,
or
and
in some
we all
point
know
wrong.
that.
Yeah.
We all experience that. We've all come out of an interview or a client meeting where it's like, oh my God, I've made a fool of myself. What have I just done? Don't, it happens, but every experience like that just makes you more experienced and ready for the next challenge. And success is paid by failure, and we're always going to fail. We're always going to make mistakes. Every day's a school day. But I mean, with the support and perspectives from others, you might be able to avoid some pitfalls and some mistakes that people have made, which they're, I'm sure, willing to share with us too.
Exactly.
Okay, so work preferences and values. So this is an important area because there's always employers talking about their values, etc., etc., and it's important nowadays to be aligned with these. One, that's true. Two, I'm just looking for a job to get my foot in the market. That's also another approach. But then again, employers now can be very selective. If I were to put out a vacancy today for a consultant, Salesforce
Yeah.
consultant, bit of a BA, someone who can configure, someone who's familiar with core clouds, keen to learn new products and solutions, adaptable, creative, knowing English, and really willing to drive and support us on our mission. I'm pretty sure I would get within 2 days 100, 200 applications. And
Or more.
there would be very good applications as well. So there's no shortage out there. But what's important to you? What's like really fundamental where you'd be really, really ecstatic about working at an organization? Is the culture important? And if so, what are you looking for from a company?
That's a good question. Well, basically, what is important for me is that people are not treated as a numbers, that you can see that each person is different, and that the that you are treated as a human, right? That's important for me. Important
Hmm.
for me is also the some sort of uh, I don't know how to explain it, but good atmosphere that people are creating. That it's not that you do not work because you have to, but you really want to work. That sort of
So that's like purpose
environment.
driven, right? So there's
Yeah,
a common
yeah.
purpose, a goal that you all want to strive and deliver. Okay,
Yeah, but the people are creating it, right? Also, so basically, yeah, that's the idea.
okay. So in other words, you want to tell me you're a contributor to creating positive environments, right? It's important to you that you
Yes.
also have a significant impact on that. And it's becoming quite challenging, especially in a remote setting, right? Where you don't have that daily interaction with colleagues, teammates at an office, right? So this is another challenge to overcome. So this could be an area also to address. How do you do it online? What sort of ideas could you have? What kind of companies, how do they engage their teams in remote settings where they have minimum or very little opportunities to interact together?
Yeah, but
Maybe
still,
it's. Hmm?
well, I think, well, I have not worked in Salesforce environment, so I don't know, right? But what I imagine is that when you work on a project, you don't work alone. You work in a team. So basically, you are in contact with those people, and you do not have to be in contact with people really well. What I mean that contact doesn't have to be really strict and just write me that roll, I don't know, do this, do that, do whatever, but you can be friendly, you can be some sort of helpful for other people, and you just need to be a kind person. And I'm looking for kind people.
Simple, right? I've shared that post on LinkedIn quite a few times. Is the best strategy for hiring is be kind, and that's to everyone, right, involved in any process, and also the employers and employees. But it's a two-way street. We all have to give to get out, and
Yeah,
that
of course.
includes the employer, but that also includes the employees and all of us. Okay, what about, let's say, salaries? Do you have any restrictions? Do you, let's say, have a minimum where you need to achieve? And we don't need to go now into any specific details, but we can at a later session,
Well,
for instance,
I
because,
would like to survive, you know,
okay, yes,
for
of
the
course.
very
Well,
beginning. Yeah.
absolutely.
So
But
being
you're
actually being as a, I'm entry level. I don't know if my knowledge is sufficient, so I will not dictate my salary expectations, but the salary must be uh, enough for me to survive.
okay. And you know,
I
you
need
can
to pay my
define
bills.
that. You can define what salary is needed for
Yeah,
to just survive, and then we build from that. Okay,
yeah.
good. We'll be talking about money. It is a taboo topic, but we are going to openly talk about money. It's going to be based around the Polish market. It'll be also about exploring, let's say, different salary expectations and how to address it, how to negotiate your salary and when. I think it's definitely something worth also discussing and talking about. Uh, it's also about understanding your value because if you go in too low, you might be actually undercutting your opportunities to really start off a nice career. And then you don't want to be entering a company and then leaving the company to go to another company to make more money purely
No,
and solely because of that. As you mentioned, you really want to start a journey, really become part of a company and grow from that, right? And
yeah,
no one
that's
has
the
that
idea.
vision of just jumping because of money, but it is something that happens and occurs, which is absolutely fine. Sometimes it's worth to just jump ship and make a 20% salary increase, then work hard and go through different appraisal processes within a company for 2 years before you kind of reach that sort of size. But let's talk about that at another session. Okay, so a few quick questions here. So your ideal work environment, we've kind of touched about it,
Yeah.
right? So you're looking for a creative, a team spirit, supportive, where you can develop and grow, but also I'm assuming once you're ready, you can also give back and also share and support others who need that additional support. You also come from you have a lot of wealth of experience from other industries, which you can really quickly utilize in a professional team setting, right? So do not forget about that. The fact that
Okay.
your job title might be junior doesn't mean you're a junior. You're actually a senior when it comes to soft skills, adaptability, understanding the business, work ethics, so much more to offer than someone who, let's say, doesn't have any experience, work experience, who's also facing huge challenges, but has their advantages as well, from looking at it from a different perspective. So, in terms of, let's say, type of work, I mean, I know you're probably flexible around different types of contracts and stuff, but I mean, full-time or part-time, do you have any restrictions as to hours and working hours?
No, I have no restrictions. I'm looking for full time, but if I find part time, that's cool enough because I will start, learning, uh, learning in real life. So that's fine as well. About the hours, no restrictions whatsoever. I can work uh, Polish time zone, US time zone, Australian time zone. I don't
Are you
mind.
sure? You can
Yeah,
work at night and become a living zombie during the day?
yeah, yes. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Seriously, when it comes to when I remember when I go back to, like studies and stuff like that, uh the most efficient I was at night, which is scary. But yeah, I can do it easily.
Okay, well, that's great to know. That opens a lot, and you share a lot of flexibility. That can be useful for some outsourcing, let's say, companies, right, where they may have some American or Australian companies that they're supporting. But that only adds, let's say, as an advantage of your flexibility and opens up. It doesn't limit you to a number of opportunities. It actually widens your opportunities. So great to know, and that's not going to be any barrier in that terms. But it would be fine as well if you want to be very specific about your working hours, and ability and flexibility. But here it's good to know.
I'm not.
Remote, hybrids,
Remotes, hybrids,
office.
preferably office no. See, because when it comes to working in Warsaw, for example, in an office, usually all the companies are at the other side of Warsaw. So I need to travel there, and that takes me 1 hour at least, one way. So that would be 2 hours lost for me. So I would not really like that because I kind of cherish my time.
Okay,
I don't
but I
like to
mean,
waste time.
but when you think of it, when you're starting,
Yeah,
and if you
for
have
the
access
really
to people around you in the office, you also got
yeah
to also appreciate that you can learn so much more, even through the small talks, having a coffee, you can troubleshoot
that's
something.
true.
I miss that a lot. So, whenever I can, I mean, but again, it is the distance, the travel, the commute, of course. So, but you're not limited that you won't visit an office, right? Once
No,
or twice a week.
no,
You're
no, no,
open to
no,
that
no,
idea, but not every
no.
day, let's say, where you
It's
would have
just
to
that
commute.
I'm rather the way that if I have something to do and I know what I need to do and I have a deadline and whatever, uh, I prefer to schedule my work by my own,
Yeah,
not
I
to have
totally
to
understand.
sit, not to have to sit for 8 hours because
Yeah.
I'm not.
Just to be in the office, being distracted all the time, and having
Yeah,
to
it's just
focus, and then you take it home and still finish it off at home and stuff, right?
yeah, because it's
Okay,
not the way I can efficiently work.
and I believe many people are feel the same.
Yeah.
Um, Okay. Well, you're based in Warsaw, so that opens up a lot of opportunities, of course, being the capital of Poland. But then you're not restricted to any other cities across Poland or across Europe or across the world where you could get involved in a full-time or part-time opportunity, right?
Yes,
To get you
exactly.
started.
Exactly.
Okay. We talked about values at companies and stuff, but this might be tricky, right? But I mean, we're talking about purpose-driven roles and careers. It's hard to maybe imagine this when you're finding it difficult to find an opportunity even available on the market. But in the ideal world, and of course, think about yourself and where you'd feel really comfortable. What are your core values when it comes to work and your career? What values define Maria?
Helping others defines Maria.
So you want to be seen as this true altruist that anyone can depend on you.
Well, no, but actually, I need to have a purpose in what I'm doing, and I just really like to help others. By the way, it's not that I must do it and I must feel, that everyone else must rely on me. No, it's just the way I am. But I
We're
don't.
similar. We're similar for sure. But let also clarify something here. But you also need to be appreciated for that, right?
Not always. That's the problem.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no.
So you don't like to be in the center of attention, let's say, regularly.
No, so this series is not really. It's way
Yes, I'm thinking,
beyond my
ooh,
borders.
this is definitely a challenge and really out of your comfort zone then, for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay, purpose driven, being able to help be part of an important, let's say, aspect, and that you can leave a bit of yourself as a legacy in that project or delivery or that solution, right? That's one thing clear. Um, what else?
I don't know if there is anything else. Honesty. I hate
Okay, so
things that are. See, that's why maybe I'm not a good seller, and I cannot be. I'm not telling that every person who sells something lies, but you are usually not saying the whole truth, and I'm the kind of person who doesn't like to, uh, especially in work environment. I don't like uh, people not telling the truth.
okay, so transparency, I think, is the word that you expect, right? So if
Probably
something's
yes.
bad, they tell it to you straight away,
Yeah.
and you can address it, right? If
Yes.
someone has made a mistake, you want them to live up to it because you would do the same and not blame someone else, for instance.
Yeah.
Transparency in that sense where you're in it together to deliver something and even how despite something being really bad and the experience being really poor, you can still address it and deal with it as long as there's transparent, open communication about that.
Exactly.
Okay, right. Professional development. There's quite a lot here that you've already achieved, but please, if you could, tell us what have you done so far when it comes to relevant Salesforce training, certificates, courses, and what are you currently undertaking?
Well, I am Salesforce certified administrator, and I'm proud of it. Thank you.
Yes, well done.
And
Do you
what?
have any other certs?
No, just associate. No, I can
Is that
afford for
the
other certs.
Okay, so that's a challenge. That's another barrier you're facing, right? Is
Yes, the
paying
barrier is
for these
paying
quite
for the certs.
expensive exams, right?
Yeah,
Okay, well, that's something we
exactly.
can address, right? So it's good we
Yes.
pop that up. So
Well,
we
recently
need vouchers. We need vouchers to support
we
you,
need
right?
vouchers.
So
Yes,
that's
yes,
that's
and
something we can tackle.
see, and recently I have received one voucher from Katka Wokrinkova.
Hey, Katka, and
Katka, thank you,
congratulations.
Katka.
She's just been awarded the title of MVP
Yes,
in Czech Republic.
yes,
Well done,
yes,
congratulations
yes,
if she's with us,
yes,
but I doubt she is, but if not, she might
yeah,
watch it, but awesome,
yeah,
great stuff.
yeah.
So
So,
yeah, that's
so
awesome. So as part of her course and that cohort that you joined in the service designers, right, space,
yes, yes,
you
yes,
got a voucher
exactly.
for the service designer certificate,
Or
or
the
is it
UX designer, yeah.
UX designer? Apologies,
Yeah.
yeah, UX
Yeah.
designer.
So I'm kind of preparing for this one, but I would
Awesome, that's
also,
a great one to have.
yeah, but I would also like to pass the business analyst one. So
Good, very relevant one to have. And
yeah,
sales service cloud would also be good to have. Just
probably,
evidence that
yeah,
knowledge you
that I
mentioned you feel
know.
confident in.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's quite a number of certificates you need and vouchers that you could really benefit from. So anyone got any free voucher codes? Please add in the comments. Oh no, sorry, send it privately to Maria. But Maria, don't worry, we'll be seeing how we can help you, and we'll engage some other people
Thank you.
in doing so. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, and I have run across clicked experiences. Clicked is a company that is supported by Salesforce, and it was started by Jeff Sample, and
Hmm.
he runs the company, and they are doing hands-on experiences on various subjects. And I'm doing those experiences there, like admin sprints or business analyst sprints. We have a case that we need to work on
Awesome.
for let's say 3 weeks, and we have 2 sessions each week for which we need to deliver some part of project. So yeah, those are really cool things, and you meet amazing people, and each time you are in different team. So you meet people who want to work and people who do not want to work, and you kind of try to figure out how to cooperate and how to deliver what you need to deliver. Yay! And this is
Yes. See, what a small world. Hey, so
Yeah, I know. We were together on the team on the sales representative
also,
sprint. Yeah, but I didn't finish this one because I don't feel like sales representative.
well, it's
Yeah.
very important to know the sales process, Maria,
Yes,
especially
I
in the role of
know.
a consultant, right?
I
So
know. I know. But
don't be
I
so hard on sales because we're all salespeople. We're all opportunists. We are
yes,
all part of also selling our services. If whether you're a business analyst, a consultant, especially on the
that's true.
consulting side, we're all
That's true.
there to maybe not sell, but to deliver the expectations that we promised and we achieved to deliver, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
clicked.
Yes.
Clicked is a major one. So
Major
what's your
one.
relationship with Jeff then?
Uh, I got a
Do you,
mug from him.
do you know him personally?
Yes.
So
Personally,
I would.
just like you, I have never met him like shaking hands, but I know him. Yes.
Well, I would recommend you reach out to him and ask him maybe in a month or so whether he would like to join us and tell us more about Clicked and the
Oh, that's so
value that it
cool.
brings. Yeah?
That's so
And I think
cool.
a lot
Yes.
of people here would appreciate that, and I think it's definitely something worth sharing with everyone.
Yeah,
So
it
if
is
you
because
could,
yeah, because basically when I started learning Salesforce on Trailhead, I actually didn't know why I'm doing this. Like, because the one
I
thing
mean,
that is
you
on,
get it's an information overload with trailheads. I mean, we all know
yeah,
this. Anyone who's been on trailhead really hitting it hard, it's fantastic. Elements of gamification, collecting points, but suddenly you're a bit overwhelmed. What am I doing? What am I focusing? What's so it's good to
exactly,
take a step back. It's good to have this practical hands-on
exactly,
experience where you understand, right? So
those experiences are amazing because you can actually implement in real life scenario what you have learned on Trailhead. So it's just like, and you
exactly.
have
And
a
that's
bunch of people that are supporting. So
Well, it sounds
yeah,
amazing, and I'd love to learn more. I've heard so much already about Click from you, but from also some other participants, and it'd be lovely to really have someone tell us more about this. Okay, um, let's move on. Some additional information. So let's keep this brief. But is there anything in specific? So we clicked is definitely something, let's say, a specific achievement of yours, a project that you'd like to discuss with us, right, throughout this coaching session.
yeah. Yeah,
for
definitely.
sure.
For
And
sure.
we're definitely going to make this happen without a doubt.
Great.
Is there anything else, Maria, that you would, like to share or think you might find helpful for our sessions?
Well, actually, I would love to have some feedback from people around. So that would I would really appreciate it. uh,
Okay.
because maybe some people have any I don't know thoughts. What am I saying wrong, or what I could improve, or maybe you have some experience in looking for a job and actually landing a job, and how did you how did you manage to do it? So I would appreciate every kind of feedback and support.
Absolutely. And I also add to that and encourage guys without feedback. And Maria has been missing feedback already from her job search experiences. But now, here, whilst we start this journey together, this is the most valuable aspect you can offer her is sharing feedback and feedback to Maria, maybe giving her some suggestions. It doesn't need to be in this public domain, but of course, please come join us. Join us on our private listed group. Here again, I'm sharing the link in the chat. Please join us. Feel free. That's the space to really support and share feedback and any suggestions and just add value to Maria's job search. Um, right. Okay, so let's just wrap things up. So we've introduced ourselves, we've introduced the initiative. So I hope it's all clear. And I hope you're all supporting us on this journey and you're going to be watching us and you're going to witness live the journey, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the laughter, the joys, the ups, the downs, but finally witnessing Maria find her job. Maria, all you have to do now is imagine that moment where you're signing that contract, stepping your foot through that door, beginning your journey. That's the goal. That's where we need to get to, and we will get there. We will get there, one way or another,
Sooner or later.
sooner or later. We've set clear expectations, so I hope also you guys also know what we're intending to do here. We've discussed, Maria, your career background, your objectives, what skills you feel you have, what obstacles and challenges you're facing, what support you need. We know what your preferences are, and they're quite flexible, which is great. We've talked about your values, which are pretty relevant also and important. So we know how to address this. You've done a lot of training, you've dedicated a lot of time, you've gained theoretical knowledge, you've evidenced it through certificates. You need more certificates, you want to do them, you need the support to get those vouchers. We can make that happen. And you've got an idea of already what exams, what certificates you want to take. It's amazing. It's really a lot already. So, this is going to be really fun and engaging, and we're going to support you on your journey without a doubt.
Thank you.
I
Thank
promise
you so
homework.
much. Oh, yes. Rainbow
I
homework.
I promise
Yay.
homework, of course. So homework is coming and homework is for you all if interested. And I really highly recommend supporting doing the same exercise if you're also in the similar position looking for work. One, I want you to read a really important and really interesting article that was recently shared by Ben McCarthy. And of course, guys, I mean, if you're not familiar with Ben McCarthy, uh, you better start following him. He's a fantastic source of information, an absolute amazing ambassador to Salesforce across the world. Salesforce Ben, now rebranded as SF Ben. And this is a fantastic article. I really highly recommend everyone reads because it is touching on a delicate topic, and that is of the current market that we're in. and the challenges. And there's a lot of insights here shared, not just from Ben, but also from influencers and from well-known guys within the ecosystem, where share their take on the current status of, let's say, the ecosystem, especially the challenges that a lot of you can relate to when it comes to entry level, securing your first jobs. It's not low, no longer are the days of the dream job, the easy entrance into Salesforce. It's become a lot more challenging and different. Um, so something I really, really recommend you all to read. I have a comment here or question. I'm going to share it here with all of you. It's from Dorian. I'm inclined to believe that you should not underestimate yourself. I
Thank you.
assume that you need to believe you are professional, maybe with a lack of experience, but you are still a professional. So don't give up. Good luck. What a beautiful comment there from Dorian. Thank you so much, Dorian. This is the
Thank you very
stuff
much.
that is gold dust. And Maria is absolutely right. Never underestimate. You have so much to offer. Really, you have maturity, adaptability, knowledge, wealth of experience, life experience, and then this dedication to learning. And already you've achieved so much. So remember that. Always remember that. And be proud of yourself. Well done, Dorian. Well said. Uh, and yes, also we have Swarna. I hope I pronounced that correctly. She absolutely agrees. Great article. She's read it, and I absolutely agree with her. It is a must read, and it's something that I would like you to read, Maria, before our next session, because we're going to be touching on this topic, of course, around the ecosystem, the market, the types of jobs, the different types of employers. And it's important that we define that so that it helps us explore and prepare for the different opportunities that we'll be coming across. Okay, next, what I would like you to do, list your recent job applications, specifically. So, employer as well, create some sort of Excel spreadsheet for now. I know we've talked, and there's an idea that we might have later on in the series, and that's of course to have a application tracking system in Salesforce made by Maria. Well, we're not, beating around the bush here. We're going to be using Salesforce for job searching,
For Salesforce.
uh, and for Salesforce. Uh, so I'd like you to really take a trip down memory lane and to think about all the roles that you've applied for, um, and let's get talking about this, because if you've applied for a role, don't think you can't reapply, right? We
Okay.
just need to maybe do it differently, or figure out or find out why maybe you weren't selected, why you didn't receive feedback, and try and address it and take a different angle to it. Okay? So don't underestimate, and don't think that if you didn't get a response that it's straight away a no-go. Um, Things happen, mistakes happen, systems fail. Doesn't necessarily mean that someone did it on purpose and they didn't respond back to you. Trust me, I know it. I've done it, and I, never want to do it again, but it
Okay.
still sometimes happens. Okay, and we could talk about that at another stage. But here it's about determination, ambition, and knowing. Actually, even a nice exercise is to see who got that job and who's working there now, and having a little look at their profile and seeing what background they have. So that's also a nice perspective to take.
I've already done it.
Good, good. So we can explore that further together. Um, and I'd like you also to list all the job titles that you think could be of interest
Okay.
to you. Okay, so you mentioned a few today, but just the ones that you think you could be relevant, you could relate to and would be interesting. And be as creative and crazy as you want.
Sure.
uh, there's plenty
Sounds
of
amazing.
jobs that haven't been even defined yet. I just met
Exactly.
recently at an event the first time a prompt engineer in Salesforce, guys. I mean, that's a
See?
cool job.
Well, actually,
So
on the last virtual sprint SFDO Commons sprint that we had, there was a.
mhm.
It's all about the doing some jobs for non-profits. Uh,
Yep, and there are
Things.
some
Yeah,
companies that specialize in that area.
yeah,
There's
yeah, yeah. But
also the charity hackathon coming up in September. So
yeah.
a must attend event in Poland.
So I actually at that sprint, I was in the group of for Salesforce Indicators project, but there was a group for prompting for writing good prompts for non-profits. So they spent 2 days on writing prompts for AI
Exactly.
for
I mean, this is
non-profits.
a fairly new role. I actually laughed because I saw a job description for a prompt engineer using OpenAI and other similar tools who had 6 years experience, which I found found quite interesting. But yeah, that's the fun and games, and that's an area also worth exploring because let's not beat around the bush. This is a very important area which is evolving as we speak, and it's actually really kicking off. And there's going to be a lot of need and demand for people who know how to create prompts and communicate with various AI solutions and tools.
See, that's
So,
why I don't know
oh,
what I should learn.
that's interesting. Yalin, that's what I'm doing now. See, so Yalin on the ball, and why am I not surprised? Go for it, go for it, go for it, guys. I think this is a really interesting opportunity that could really pay off shortly. Salesforce is still fairly early when it comes to developing their AI
Yeah.
tools, but it has to take off. So this is a good time to really also focus on such solutions. Right. Once again, I really, really must encourage you all. Join us. We're going to be creating this cool group for all of you to join. Share your comments, connect with us, ask questions, suggest topics, mention what's happening in your area, what opportunities are rising, what could be great for us to, you know, consider throughout this series. And just be part of this fun exercise and initiative that we're doing together with Maria. And yeah, sorry, I think that's it. And that's where that's where we come to an end of our first session, Maria. It wasn't that bad. Look, we
No,
were so nervous about it, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
Uh,
I haven't slept well.
so, Maria, first of all, before I open it up to everyone, do you have any questions or any concerns? Anything that you would like to address before we come to a conclusion?
No, I would just like to thank you very much. And you have really nice board and
You've
something
noticed
on the
that.
board.
Go, Maria!
Yeah. Thank you. Go and
You're
find a
welcome.
job.
You're welcome. My absolute pleasure. Now, yeah, I assure you that I'm going to be here all the way for you, and we're on a mission, and we're going to make sure a lot of people know that. And whenever anyone thinks of advertising or publishing a junior entry-level position, they'll think twice, and they'll remember the
Exactly.
hashtag Hire Maria if they do so. Now, to all of you who have stayed with us for,
2 hours.
close to 2 hours. Thank you so much. Now, this is the beginning of this journey. We had to define a lot, discuss a lot today. Of course, the next episodes will be a little bit more focused on core areas. The next session we plan to do, we may even plan to do it already this week, will be a session around the job market, understanding the differences between different types of employers with Salesforce and also the diverse roles, opportunities. And the purpose for having this discussion will be to create a full list or have a really good understanding of what jobs, what roles, what positions we're going to be searching for. Because later on, we'll be doing all sorts of activities to find such roles, see really how many roles of such are out there. But it could be also a great opportunity to connect with people who are in those roles and maybe invite them to share a little bit more insights from the day to day and maybe how their jobs are evolving currently, to kind of see how we can adapt your job search to this evolving market. And we're not going to be able to do it alone. And we can't do it just based on job descriptions, which are often poorly written. And I know because I write them and I'm not too proud of them myself. It's like writing a CV. You can be a fantastic Salesforce admin, Salesforce consultant, developer, but really shit at writing CVs. And that's, that's fine, right? But having a good CV can also be dependent on whether you get an interview or not. But let's not worry about that right now. Let's take it on a journey. Things are going to be evolving, things are going to be changing. And I hope we'll have all of you supporting us on the way, sharing your insights, sharing your suggestions, your experiences, and of course, most importantly, as Maria was really keen to get from you, your feedback. And I guess before we end, maybe anyone here in the chat do have questions. I know there's a slight delay. I believe it's around even 10 seconds. So we'll wait patiently here with Maria. But do you have any questions that you'd like to ask me, ask Maria, ask the audience? Uh, Please, if so, this is the moment. If not, in the meantime, I'm going to be encouraging you to join the group created on LinkedIn. It's named Hiya Maria.
Hmm.
There's no coincidence for that. And of course, the link is in the chat. Uh, right, so I don't see any questions at the moment. So in that case, all I can do here, guys, is say thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it. We were very nervous about it, but I think now we can just focus and get the ball rolling. Maria, well done. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you very
And
much.
I'm so
I'm proud of you
pleased.
as well. You did it,
Thank you.
Philip. You did it.
We did it. We
We
did
did it.
it.
We did it.
And guys, please follow us. We'll be sharing very shortly an update and the next live that we plan to do. And we'll share the schedule and when we'll be doing it. So please join us on this journey. Thank you so much for being with us and see you soon.
Thanks a lot. Ciao.